Hello, my friends. This is Dr. Jeannie Barrow, TGIF. I am today in my office. I just worked out this morning at my CrossFit gym, getting ready to spend the most of the day off. I have one client appointment on my Friday on purpose. I am driving to Jersey City to pick up my mom so that we can go to get our facials. We get one every 2 months. Compliments of my old colleague and friend Kristen from my old company at Lord Abbott, who kind of got me into the habit of doing that. So I still do it decades later. So I'm super excited to be with you today because I wanted to highlight how getting very intentional about your future and the life you want to create, that compelling vision that you want for your life and career, how getting intentional about it can make a world of difference. And I can go into so many tangents because I write about this in my book, Healing Leadership, which is just celebrated the 1-year anniversary. When we are clear on what it is that we want in our lives and careers, we begin to reverse engineer it. So I was in a career in financial services and technology for over 25 years. The last 5 years I've spent running my business, Executive Bound. And when I decided that I was going to jump on this track to run my own business, I got crystal clear on the kind of life I wanted to have, and most important, how I wanted to feel every day getting up to go to work. So, by the way, spoiler alert, running your own business is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And I've worked in really tough environments, demanding environments. So this is not about not working, because we're going to work whether we're doing it running our own businesses, or we're going to work whether we're working in a corporation, in a company, in an organization. That's not the question, whether we're going to work or not. We're going to work. The question is, how are we going to feel going to work? And so while I'm still working hard and working the hardest I've ever worked in my life, how I feel is I feel purposeful. I feel my work has meaning. So what does this have to do with you? Why am I sharing this with you? Because I know that my clients come to me because they're in different stages of their careers. Sometimes they're transitioning, other times they're already at the role that they're doing and they want to become better leaders. They want to be able to self-manage better so that they're not feeling angry or angst or disempowered to influence the outcomes that they want to see in the workplace. So they have the self-awareness to realize, I've reached the end of my skill set in this particular area. I want to be able to get to my next level as a leader. So I need to retool. And that's when they reach out to me. I did the same thing. When I made the decision that I wanted to start my own business, I sought out mentors and teachers who could help me make that happen because they've already done it for themselves and they were successful at it. This is not a conversation of starting your own business, not at all. This is a conversation about getting clear about what your future looks like, the compelling vision for your life looks like, and reverse engineering it by saying, where am I now compared to that vision? There's usually going to be a big gap between those two visions, where you are now and where you want to be. And then the question is, what can I do to fill the gap? What needs to happen from my end to fill the gap? And this is the key, not to become overwhelmed by the idea of how am I going to fill that gap, but rather focus on what will be my next strategic step to take. What would that be for me? For me, it was about getting clear about retooling to start a business from scratch. That was my next step. And then once you take that first step, you will see that the next steps will reveal themselves to you. So there's a level of faith and there's a level of belief in our abilities and our ability to figure things out as we go that is critical for us to be able to make that vision a reality eventually. Patience is also going to be our friends. Curiosity, getting curious about the possibilities. and opening up your mind that there is so much abundance in the world and that you are not out of the race yet. So what do you have to contribute? What value do you bring to your environment? What is your market value? I discussed this with the group of empowering and inspiring women that I met with yesterday at the Women in Derivatives presentation that I gave on personal branding. And that is that we all have the same soul value. We're all human, so we have the same value. However, we don't all have the same market value. So as you think about growing your career and advancing, how do you increase your market value? What does that look like for you? What areas are you an expert at? That you're that resource that people go to for blank. What is that? And going forward, is that where you see yourself moving toward? Or do you see yourself jumping tracks, switching, perhaps bringing into your life something that you kind of neglected and pushed to the side for the core of your career? What is that? So let's get clear on your compelling future. Let's get clear on where you are now, and then let's get clear on how to fill the gap. So if you're interested in this is what I would say. Join me July 11th through the 15th, when I'll be running the Fearless Leaders Challenge. At the Fearless Leaders Challenge, that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to do it in community. We're going to set aside an hour each of those days from 12 to 1 p.m. ET so that you can have an implementation time and answer these questions for yourself. Why? Because our lives are too busy and we don't set aside the time to do this on our own. So I'm going to support you to do that. And I'm going to show you the methodology that I teach my clients for reaching their next level and advancing in their careers. That to me is my responsibility to let you know what I've created that supports you in filling the gap. So if that's something that appeals to you, visit fearlessleaderschallenge.com and register to save your virtual seat. I look forward to seeing you the week of July 11th. This is for female leaders ready to advance and grow and to do it with meaning and in community. Live with purpose, live with joy.